Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you own a Ram truck with air suspension, you might have seen a dreaded message pop up on your dash. Service air suspension immediately. You plug in your scanner, and it spits out the code C1557. So, what does this code actually mean? And more importantly, how do you fix it? Today, we're diving deep into the C1557 code. Ride height calibration required. Stick around, because we're going to break it down step by step. First, let's understand what C1557 is telling you. This code is set by the active damping control module, or a DCM, which is the brain of your air suspension system. Essentially, the module has lost its memory of the correct ride height settings. It doesn't know how high or low the truck should be sitting. This can happen for a few reasons. The most common one is a dead or disconnected battery. If your battery goes completely flat or you replace it, the ADCM can lose its stored calibration data. Another reason could be related to other repairs. If you've recently replaced a ride height sensor, the control module itself, or even performed an alignment, the system might need to be recalibrated to learn the new parameters. It's basically the truck's way of saying, hey, something changed, and I need you to reteach me the correct ride heights. So, you've got the code. What's the fix? The good news is that most of the time, this isn't a major mechanical failure. The code itself says, ride height calibration required, and that's exactly what you need to do. To perform this calibration, you'll need a capable bidirectional scan tool. Your basic, cheap code reader won't cut it for this job. You need a tool that can communicate with the active damping control module and initiate the calibration procedure. Tools from brands like Autel, Snap-on, or Lons, and sometimes even software like AlphaBD, paired with the right interface, have this capability. Once you have the right tool, the process is pretty straightforward, but you have to be precise. First, make sure your truck is on a perfectly level surface. This is critical. If the ground is sloped, your calibration will be off, and the system won't work correctly. Next, you'll need a tape measure. The calibration procedure will ask you to measure the distance from the center of the wheel hub up to the fender lip on all four corners. You'll navigate through your Scan Tools menu to the active damping control module. Find the ride height calibration or relearn procedure, and start it. The tool will then prompt you to enter the measurements you just took for each wheel. It's important to enter these values accurately. After you've entered all four measurements, the scan tool will guide the system through the rest of the process. The truck will raise and lower itself, storing the new height values into the ADCM's memory. Once the procedure is complete, it will usually tell you calibration successful. At this point, you can clear the C1557 code, and it shouldn't come back. You should then test the system by manually raising and lowering the truck through its different height modes like entry, exit, normal, and off-road 2. Ensure everything is working as it should. Now, what if the calibration fails, or the code comes back right away? This usually points to an underlying issue. A common culprit is a faulty ride height sensor. If a sensor is giving an erratic or out-of-range signal, the module can't get a stable reading to complete the calibration. You can use your scan tool to look at the live data from each of the four height sensors. As you raise or lower the truck, the voltage or measurement readings should change smoothly. If one sensor is stuck or jumping all over the place, you've likely found your problem. Also, check the wiring and connectors to the sensors for any damage or corrosion. A bad connection can cause the exact same symptoms. In rare cases, the issue could be with the ADCM itself, but that's usually the last thing to suspect. Always rule out the simpler things like a bad sensor, wiring, or even air leaks in the system before condemning the control module. An air leak can also sometimes cause calibration issues if the compressor can't build or hold pressure long enough to hit the target heights. So, to recap, the C1557 code means your truck's air suspension brain has forgotten its height settings. The fix is to perform a ride height calibration using a bidirectional scan tool on level ground. If that doesn't work, investigate your ride height sensors and their wiring for faults. It's a fix that you can definitely do yourself if you have the right tools, saving you a trip to the dealership. I hope this guide helps you tackle that C1557 code with confidence. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more DIY repair guides. Got any questions or your own experiences with this code? Drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.